This film is an absurdist dark comedy with magical realism and science fiction, inspired by the world of telemarketing. It's called Sorry to Bother You.
Oh yeah, all right, hell yeah.
I didn't want to make a good movie. I wanted to make an important film. And not just thematically important, I wanted it to be artistically important. I knew for my first film I had to have great actors.
Check this out. Damn, God made this land for all of us. And greedy people like you want to hog it to yourself and your family and charge all the rest of us for the right to live.
Me and my family?
Yeah.
Cassius, I'm your fucking uncle.
So Cassius Green never feels he's good enough at anything to warrant his life meaning something. He discovers a magical way to make his voice sound like it's overdubbed by a white actor. And this catapults him up the ladder of telemarketing success.
Tim, I want to chop it up more, but I got to get to my squash game. Was that Visa or MasterCard?
There was a piece in the script that we didn't get to, but it was a scene that at the time was really important to me, where Cassius Green was gonna have full frontal nudity. We need to feel that you are as vulnerable as you can be. And he was like, I've been waiting for a role with full frontal nudity. We didn't end up doing it because he can do something that even a lot of great actors can't do. You can look at his face and feel that he's vulnerable.
The whole reason I went to work for Regal View was to make myself more interesting to you.
Cassius, the old you was way more interesting.
I've been wanting to make films for many years, and during that time that I wasn't making films, I was making music. I started out when I was 12 wanting to be Prince, wanting to have that power over people's minds and hearts. We got the record deal while I was in film school, and I co-directed a music video. You know, I wrote the treatment, did the storyboards, and was sleeping in the editing room with the director and the editor.
So we got the guillotine. We got the guillotine. You better run. We got the guillotine.
My biggest experience that helped me with being a director was I've been a music producer for 20-something years. And when you're producing music, you know, I may have the best bass player in the world, drummer who thinks he's the best drummer in the world, and some weird keyboard player, and individually, they each know so much more about music than I do. And I have to get them to follow my vision.
What the hell are you talking about?
Navigating all of that and hustling to get stuff done really laid the groundwork for me to be able to direct. The influence that I'm hoping this film has is that we don't have to just do people of color versions of the films that already exist. All the blaxploitation stuff came out of the civil rights and black power movements and anti-war movements. Art is communication. No matter what that art is, someone's saying something to you. There's so much more you could talk about. When I'm making my art, it really doesn't help me to think about the definitions of what I'm doing. So what I do comes out ridiculous or funny or weird. That's because the world is ridiculous, funny, and weird. Detroit is an artist with a goal of communicating to the world and having her art be part of a movement. So I thought that her name touched on a lot of themes that the movie is about.
Squeeze, Detroit.
Detroit?
Yeah.
That's cool.
My parents wanted me to have an American name.
Nice.
Tessa Thompson understands the value of the dialogue and how that kind of leads the scene along. As opposed to Lakeith, his way is a little looser. So it worked for these characters because I think Detroit is much more of a stable person than Cassius.
Hey.
Hey.
I wouldn't miss this for the world. Baby, it's beautiful. You're beautiful.
Cash, I love you too, but I can't hang with what I see in you now.
Good art and good conversation is aware of the aesthetic. Aesthetic is sometimes even way more important than the content. It's those in-between feelings that can't be categorized as this is a sad movie, this is a happy movie. All of those little things bring people through an emotional trajectory, not just have the audience attached to someone that is going through those emotional changes. And I'm trying to get across this awkward feeling of interrupting someone.
Mr. Song, Cassius Green of Worry-Free Calling. Sorry to bother you. I'm calling about who is assembling your phone.
The idea was for the film to feel like there was a beautiful clutter.
Nice hearing.
Most of the stuff that I come up with, including that, was just trying to solve a problem. Like, how do I get across someone's vibe? How do I put that in the script without having them say it? There are certain novelists that come in with all of these juicy details, from names to the way things are described. Then there's like Paul Schrader with the movie Mishima. This guy is drawn to this golden pavilion. I wanted to create a moment like that with the elevator.
Y tus tráilers, visita mi canal.
What I love about Oakland is honestly that I know everybody, because I've had many lives here. I've been not only a youth organizer, almost a contradictory path, a party promoter, and a weed dealer. There are many people that are creative, and it's different than maybe a place like LA and maybe even New York, in the sense that there's no hierarchy. There's this idea that people are creating, and there's no thing of, did it blow up yet? There is a heavy, creative fire that's here. Steve Lift represents the new trend of new capitalism being no capitalism. What? This isn't a workspace. This is a playroom. And that's very prevalent in tech companies. But the point is not that this is worse or better, but it's an attempt to hide what's actually going on.
Worry-free CEO Steve Lift was interviewed on Oprah today.
No. Conclusively, no. Our workers do not sign contracts under threats of physical violence. So therefore, the comparison to slavery is just ludicrous and offensive. We're transforming life itself. We're saving the economy. I mean, we're saving lives. It's all highlighted in my book. I lay out the whole thing.
Army was perfect. He saw how Steve Lift thought of himself as a hero. He's very adjustable, very precise, and I can say, Army, between each sentence, look at a different part of Cassius's body and decide whether he could kill you with it or not.
It's people like you that are going to save this nation, Green. I mean, look, don't get me wrong, we still need the workers to do the work, per se. But we also need people like you, people that can be trusted, people that can analyze the challenge and adapt. Like a cunning raccoon, or like a snake.
And he did that, and it was maniacal. Anything that I'm gonna do as a human is going to involve me trying to make the world better. For me, that means trying to make things more just. You are the one that has to build the movement. You, the listener.
You know what today is? Today is the warning shot, telling them that we stand united. If we get this right today, not only will it be our floor, but it'll be every other floor in Regalview and beyond. We ride for anyone they try to fire. We fight.
Squeeze is the quintessential, quote-unquote, professional organizer.
Is that what you do? You just go from place to place stirring up trouble?
Trouble's already there. Just how folks fix it.
Hey, young blood.
Danny Glover is probably the one that, in the cast that I knew the longest.
So why you ain't dancing, man?
I'm too old for that shit. What happened to him just doing the dog? Woo, woo, woo. Wow, wow.
He's a friend of my father's. Him and my father have known each other since like 1968. They were part of the San Francisco State strike together, the strike that ended up creating the first ethnic studies program in the United States.
If you get shown a problem but have no idea how to control it, then you just decide to get used to the problem.
And that's why our plan for tomorrow is important.
In 2001, I had an idea for a song in which I was a telemarketer selling slaves.
So wait, are you telling me you sell slave labor to companies over the phone?
Hot damn it. You are a sharp one.
2011, I decided I was gonna sit down and write a movie. David Cross and Patton Oswalt, they had read it and said, yeah, you can use our names. That helped me to get people to read it. Then went to Sundance Film Festival, got into the writer's lab, and we had all of these masters arguing with each other about what I should do with the script. And that let me know that nobody knows what the fuck they're doing. We're all just figuring it out.
Yeah, one for all for one.
Terry Crews, we had a 2-hour conversation. I left inspired, motivated, ready to work out, build a house, and start a pyramid scheme, because that's just how inspirational he is.
If I don't come up with a boatload of money by next month, which I won't, bank is taking my shit. It's making my diabetes act up.
Y tus trailers, visita mi canal.
We had a lot of voices in this. We had David Cross as Lakeith's white voice.
Hey, baby. Good morning.
We had Patton Oswalt as Omari's white voice.
Do you like to party?
Lily James as Tessa's British white voice.
Tonight, we will have a transformative experience.
Rosario Dawson as the voice of the elevator.
Greetings, Cassius Green. I hope you did not masturbate today.
We had Forrest Whitaker as the Equisapien voice.
Dude, I'm from East Oakland. Talk regular.
I want to make movies that show there is a way to fight back. I want to make movies that at least look at it from that standpoint, that we can fight back, that we can change things. I'm putting that into my art.